Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Nemesis Harbinger of the End event. Now, we're going to be talking about how you're going to be able to get a 4 and 5 star Nemesis completely free to play. There's a few things that have changed, and I want to bring this up really quick at the beginning of the video. One is that we've actually reverted to the pre-Nikia event campaign. So that's going to be like Spider Weaver and the characters before that. And what I mean by that is that you don't actually need Nemesis to go into the event. The event card is in the events window. We'll take a look at that too as well. And it says that it's starting on Monday at 4 p.m. Now, the reason why this is strange is because the event is supposed to start at Tuesday on 1 p.m. I did message Community Manager Archangel over this, and because it's the weekend, I haven't heard anything definitive on this. And the reason why this is a problem, and we'll talk about this during the rest of the video, is that the Milestone event that's starting on Tuesday, the Progeny of Apocalypse, involves opening the event campaign orbs. So if indeed this event ends up launching on Monday, that poses a little bit of a problem for that event that's starting on Tuesday. We'll talk about that in more detail. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. And so we're going to start here. Now, you may have noticed this as of recording this video anyways. It does say 1 day, 15 hours, but I'm recording this at a super odd hour, so don't pay that too much attention. But regardless, the Herald of Death event, which is the current, week 2 event, is not set to end for 2 days and 12 hours, at least as of recording this video. So the Harbinger of the event campaign is starting before this one even ends, and the week 3 event starts as well, which, again, as of recording, it's not up on the event card window here. But if you preview the event, you notice that both hard mode and heroic mode now say 5 chosen characters required. You don't need a Nemesis at all, and actually they've reverted the first time rewards back to what it was previously in the Spider Weaver, I think was the last event campaign prior to Nikia. And so what's interesting is that which is good. I didn't like the Nikia way that you had to use Nikia in the campaign to whatever, and it was a strict character, the 5 characters that you could use. I didn't like that part either. But now you have obviously the chosen characters, which there's lots of, and we'll talk about that here before we jump into the math. And you can see that here. So there are 21 characters. They brought back Omega Red for those who were wondering. So he's back in the chosen trait. He was not intended to be a chosen trait character. That was a mistake. That's why they got rid of him. And then the backlash, and then he came back. Mr. Sinister is still here though. So that's, if you need to use him, that's there. So who would I recommend for you to use? Really anyone in this top row here. Of course, I would maximize Death Seed and Omega Red where possible if you have them. There is Lady Deathstrike, Mr. Sinister. I mean, you don't really need Black Bolt or Invisible Woman. There's Dad Bros, but realistically, as many Death Seed as you possibly can would be best. And none of these characters on the lower rung, because you're really not going to want to build these up, and I hope that you don't for this event, because there's much better characters. Anyone, even Killmonger, who's a Wakandan character, so anyone on this sort of upper tier, up here above where I'm looking at, where my characters are built, any of these characters will do. It probably won't be that difficult, and if you can use Nemesis in his own event, even though you don't have to, I would personally recommend it anyways, because Nemesis is super powerful, and I've had a lot of great use out of him in the Death Scourge so far. He's really, really good, and of course, if you have that synergy with Magneto and Dark Beast that you can take advantage of at the very least, will be really, really good, and if you're using Magneto, then it kind of makes sense to use like a character like Sabretooth if you have him available as well. But obviously, it depends on you, and let me know in the comments down below which characters that you're going to be using for this event. Now, I do want to jump over to the math, and so there's a couple of changes like I mentioned in the beginning. So I don't know if this event is going to be starting tomorrow or when it's supposed to be starting on Tuesday, because the blog said it was starting Tuesday, alongside the Milestone event, Progeny of Apocalypse. And we're going to be talking about that more tomorrow. So my Progeny of Apocalypse math video will be going out tomorrow. I'm getting this out first because a lot of what's going to be in here is going to be important to some of the math parts in Progeny of Apocalypse. Also, I want to tell you how you're going to get a 4 or 5 star, whatever your goal is, free to play. And so the few things right off the bat that I want to tell you about is, of course, so they changed, obviously, the characters. The chosen trait, there's 21 characters, which is great, but the estimated value of the event orb has changed. So the new estimated value of this orb, from what I'm aware of, is 4.88. Now, the Nakia orb was 4.92, as far as I'm aware, and the original Spider Weaver and prior was 5.4. So what's interesting about this is that more or less we have the same EV of the Nakia orb, but they've changed the structure of your first time rewards in hard mode and heroic back to the old style. And why that's important is because you're getting less shards than you were with the Nakia event. I'm sure if you guys remember when you did the Nakia event on easy mode, you got about, what was it, like just pretty much close to an unlock for doing that. But now, since we've gone back to the Spider Weaver version, you're actually only getting about 30 flat shards for doing heroic up to the last level. So that means you're losing out on like 15 shards or so about flat. Now, we did get the Free Claim Friday like a week and a half ago. That was for Nemesis, and that gave you 5 free shards there. We'll talk about that as well. But the amount of first-time event orb fragments is lower as well. So now when you do all 9 of the heroic mode levels, you get a total of 2.5 orbs. So you can see the values here and zoom in a little bit more, sorry. So you get 600 for level 1, and that's if you do heroic mode, because you're getting 500 from heroic and 100 from hard. And then same here, 600 again, 900 total, 800 total, 650, 650, 900, 200, 200, and 400. And then when you do all 9 of the levels, these are all the first time rewards that you get as bonus. And that equates to about 2.5 orbs. Overall, though, this is less because those 2.5 orbs times the 4.88 shards, what you're getting for your first time is less than what you were getting in Nakia. And so that ends up being a little bit of a problem. So you get 12.2 shards from these 2.5 orbs, and then the 30 for free. It's not quite an unlock, which you did get from Nakia for just doing easy mode, I'm pretty sure. But let's talk about the wider math. So obviously, if you're farming heroic mode, you're going to be getting 700 fragments on, and this is going to be important for the Milestone event because you're going to be getting 1 million points in that event. We'll talk about more on that math, but you're getting 1 million of the Milestone points for that per orb that you open. So my personal recommendation, if this goes live on Monday, that you save all of the orbs that you get because you're going to be getting milestone points on Tuesday for opening these orbs. So don't open anything before Tuesday 1 p.m. before the Progeny of Apocalypse event starts. Please keep that in mind. So you're getting a total of 700 fragments that are available on each of the heroic levels, right? So if you're doing your 200 cores daily, which this basically represents, you're getting about just over 3 orbs that you're able to farm per day, which is really good. But if you're only doing hard mode does have a finite number of shards that are number of fragments that you can farm, which we'll talk about down below here. So the energy generation part, this is basically that your free to play roughly is about 928 energy. Where do you get this from? You get your 288 from your free to play energy. This is just your time. Your 240 from your free refreshes, and up to 4 refreshes more for your cores and whatnot. That'll give you an extra 400 for a total of 928, which satisfies the basically farming all 9 of the heroic levels. Now, if you're only able to farm hard mode because you're not high enough level or what have you, whatever you want to, they deplete. And this is really important to understand, that you can only farm so many fragments out of hard mode before they actually deplete. And you can see the days here. So the event campaigns typically run for 15 days. And why is this important? Well, because the Milestone event runs for 7 days. And so you can only farm so much of hard mode before it depletes. The red means they deplete within 7 days, essentially, or less, right? So 2.7, 3.5, 5.3, 5.7, and then the other ones here, the blues, these will last during the Milestone event, but not for the duration of the campaign event that lasts for 15 days. The only node that actually survives long enough is the final hard mode, node number 9. Now, if you are above level 68, you can get access to heroic difficulty, and you will be able to do at least the first level. But beyond that, if you don't have the strength to do it, then you're basically screwed a little bit in terms of how many fragments that you can farm for the Milestone event. And I've basically mathed it out here. If you're only farming hard mode, that you're basically going to get about 15 and a quarter orbs over the course of 7 days to farm. Now, like I said, if this does start early, then you can kind of hoard an extra day's worth. I didn't really see that coming, but you know, you'll have a little bit more than this, but realistically, this is what you would expect for 7 days worth of orb fragment farming, only if you're doing hard mode. Not if you're doing heroic as well. And then this actually is still in my chart, but this is the Nakia stuff, so ignore this. But this was the total amount of shards that you got from Nakia. I left it in here because I don't know if they plan on changing it in the future, and I just wanted it there anyways as a reference point. Just ignore that for now. So we're going to be talking about the 5 scenarios that I have, and if you watched any of my event campaign videos, I do it in a similar way, but I have changed the numbers around a little bit based on what changed for the Nemesis event. So scenario 1 is what I call the best case scenario. This is 200 cores daily. So if you do want to, this is what most people do, I think, you know, for event campaigns. This is pretty standard. So 200 cores is fairly easy to get on a daily basis. So you're going to be getting just over about 6,500 fragments per day, and this is pretty good. If you basically you're farming all of heroic mode plus a couple of attempts in hard mode. Now, of course, this is all within the context of heroic. So if you're not farming heroic mode, you know, you're going to get less than what I'm saying here. Now, this is going to give you about 3 and a quarter orbs daily, and so you're going to multiply this by 15 days, and so the total orbs over your event is going to be just under 49. Now, of course, with the new 4.88 shards per orb, you multiply this by 4.88 plus the 35 shards we get for free, and also the 2.5 orbs from the first time, and also actually the 5 that we got for free. So I didn't list it, but the free claim Friday, plus 5 is already in there as well. And so that gives you 285 shards. Now, actually, it used to be a 5-star free to play, but it's not anymore because the amount of shards, the flat shards that were reduced. So I have to correct this actually. It's more like 4.5 star free to play. So if you want to get a 5-star Nemesis, then you're probably looking more at 400 cores daily that you're going to want to invest into this campaign event if you're going to want to get that, and we'll see that down below. Now, scenario 2 is the middle ground. This is a 100 cores refresh. So maybe you're a newer player, maybe you're just low on cores, or you don't want to commit that much to him. Then basically you're going to be getting 10 orbs less over the course of the 15 days, and that's essentially about almost 50 shards less. So that's halfway to a 5-star at this point. Actually, this is more like 4 point, yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah, this is more than that, so it's more than 4.5 star, but you know, that's whatever. It's not quite 5-star. And this one is 239 shards, and 180 is 4-star. So this is probably more like halfway to 5-star, and this one is like 4.75 stars, but hey, whatever, the wording doesn't really matter. Anyways, the total amount of shards is here, but realistically, if you want to get that 5-star, then you should be pushing more cores. Now, scenario 3 is the no core refresh. I don't know why anybody would do this. However, if you're just flat broke or you don't give a crap about Nemesis, then this is what you might do. And you could, with average luck, still get a 4-star free to play. But if you wanted that 4-star, I would still recommend coring because this is average luck and you know how RNG can go in this game. Scenario 4, though, on the other hand, this is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to call lots of cores. This is 400 cores daily, or 6,000 power cores over 15 days. You're going to get about just under 4 orbs per day, and this is going to be useful information for when we start talking about the Progeny of Apocalypse milestone, because you get like 1 million points per orb. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video, though. This is 59 orbs over the course of the event, and this is where you're going to get about 337 shards. So this is just a bit over 5-star. And for me personally, I've already unlocked them, so I have them at like 48 shards. So that plus this should get me that guaranteed 5-star that I'm going to want. So that's good. So if you're aiming for a 5-star, I would push for 400 cores daily at the bare minimum. Now, for some crazy people, this is scenario 5, and this is what I call lots more cores. This is 600 daily. And basically with all the above math and the same math, I've just changed the numbers with the amount of fragments that you're getting. And this is about 69 orbs over the course of the event, and multiplied by the same numbers, and you're getting 383 shards. So for those of you who might be trying to push for 6-star, for example, because you're getting, maybe you bought an offer, and then maybe you're going to be buying with the present store to get 100 Nemesis shards from there, that might push you on your way towards that 510 shards that you need for a 6-star. So it'd be like this number plus 100 plus anything previous from the past that you might have pulled 675 cores, and that might help you get to that 6-star if that's what you're looking for. Then this is maybe what you want to do if you have the cores available to do that. So this is the changed math, and TLDR, what really changed is that these numbers are a little bit different. I would say that we're net negative about 20 shards on average from this event to the Nakia event. And that's because of the change in the flat shards that Nakia gave from the easy mode that we're no longer getting in this one. But the estimated value of the orb is about the same as the Nakia orb. So this is Scopely's way of basically saying too many people were getting 5-star free to play, and so now you're gonna have to work a little bit harder to get that. Regardless, though, let me know in the comments down below what scenario that you're planning for. So, like, again, I personally recommend the 400 cores per day if you can do that, because it's also going to go against the event campaign, the milestone that's going to be coming, the Progeny of Apocalypse that we'll be talking about tomorrow. But at the bare minimum, I do recommend everyone to at least do the 200 cores refresh, because that's going to give you the event points that you're going to want and hopefully push you to, you know, like a 4.5-star Nemesis, because he's a really great character. And that's why I think people should be spending their cores on this event, because he's such an amazing character for that Desi team that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to raise up and probably use at some point anyways, because it's a raid team. So let me know in the comments down below what your plan is and what you think about this change to the event campaign structure. We've basically gone back to the old ways, except for the orbs are as bad as Nakia's. So we're kind of moving 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Anyways, that's the end of this video, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. See you guys on tomorrow's video where we talk about the Progeny of Apocalypse milestone event. Boilon signing out.